So this is the third video in this series. We're going to try 2 more factoring examples, but we're going to then continue to find the x-intercepts and graph the parabolas. Again, the process is, do you have a GCF? What multiplied by what will make the first term? We're going to list the factor pairs for the last term. We're going to trial and error with the pairs and the signs until you find the right one. And remember, signs means if it's positive or it's negative. And how do you know if you have the right pairs and signs? You're going to check the terms that appear in this position in the area model, and you're going to combine those like terms to see if it matches the middle term. And then you know that you're finished factoring because there are no more x squareds. You're going to write your GCF in front if you have one, and then your 2 factor pairs. And then you're going to do the zero product property, and you're going to graph the intercepts and sketch the parabola. By the time you do many examples of this, this will seem like you've known it your whole life and you don't have to really look at the steps too much. But for today, we're going to look at the steps. So let's graph these intercepts and sketch these parabolas. First of all, I ask myself, do I have a GCF? In this first example, I do not. So I have to figure out what are the factors that are going to multiply together to make this. Write the first term here, write the last term here. What times what makes 5x squared? That would be 5x times x. What are my factor pairs that make the last term? Well, that is -1 times 1. One has to be negative, one has to be positive. And should I put the -1 here and the +1 here? I don't know, let's find out. 5x times -1 is -5x, and x times 1 is x. Check to see if you're correct by combining your like terms. -5x combined with x is -4x. Does this match the middle term? Hey, I guessed right on the very first try. Wow, I'm happy. So my factors are 5x plus 1 and x minus 1. Now I'm going to move those factors down here because I have to set each factor equal to 0 in order to find my x-intercepts. And if you remember from previous lessons, that 0 is important because all x-intercepts have a y value that is 0. So I take this factor, 5x plus 1, set it equal to 0, solve for x using the inverse of addition, and then the inverse of multiplication. So one of my x-intercepts is going to be at -1/5. Take this factor, set it equal to 0. What number minus 1 equals 0? X is equal to 1. So one of my x-intercepts is at -1/5, comma 0, and the other one is at 1, comma 0. Does this parabola open up or down? Looking at the first term here, is this positive or negative? Or you look at the GCF and you say, is this positive or negative? It's positive, so I know that this parabola is going to open up. And again, we don't really care about vertex or line of symmetry right now. We're just really concerned with finding the x-intercepts by factoring. Before we begin the last example, I'm going to stop here and you can advance to the next video.